Hi everybody, my name is Nick, known as The Bull, and I'm here with my friend Richard Ehrlich, and welcome to another episode of Rich and the Bull, where we are here to help you to think like the rich and sort out the bull so that you can make smart and sound financial decisions. A lot of you out there are always wondering, what is the background story of anybody that you're listening to? How did they come about? How did they get into this business? What is it that drives them or motivates them? And so I wanted to start out here talking to Rich and say, look, Rich, for you, why was it that you became a fantastic financial planner? How did you decide to get into the business? What is it that motivates you every day for your clients? Tell us your background story.
Well, my story really begins at home. My father, who really was able to provide for myself, my brother, and my sister, he did a lot of the right things. You know, he listened to the traditional investment background or guidance of the day, and he bought stock when he was supposed to buy stock, and he bought real estate when he was supposed to buy real estate. But the one thing he was missing, Nick, was a plan. Nobody ever told him, hey, this was going to get you to some place down the road to achieve that financial independence. And as a result of not having a plan, we know the markets have cycles, and my dad had to work a lot longer than he would have had to had he had a plan in place. So that's really, the why of how I got into this business. The motivation for me, when I sit with clients, I've just been so frustrated over the years where I've been fortunate to meet some great people around this country who have built up this country, and they've worked really, really hard. And they've saved a lot of money, and they've done all the things that, the traditional planning methods have told us to do. And yet, through no fault of their own, Nick, have lost half of their net worth in a short period of time, twice over the last 2 decades. And to me, that's just unacceptable. So my motivation, what gets me going, is to say, hey, that's unacceptable, and there has to be a better way. And so over the decades of doing this, I've created a plan where I said, look, instead of selling somebody a product or a service, why not coach them? Right? Why not help them make the smart decision? Because people, we got to give them credit. People are smart people, right? And the goal of this program and of what we're doing here is to guide them through, not to say to buy one product over the other, because there are many products you can buy. The goal is to sit beside you and help you flush out those misnomers, those misconceptions, and to get the true facts to help you make smart financial decisions.
That's so important, especially today. I mean, we're bombarded by all these different products and vehicles out there, trying to sort them all out. And everybody kind of goes to the shiny thing, right? The new thing, right? Bitcoin, and I'm not saying Bitcoin is bad, but why do you go into Bitcoin? And do you know about Bitcoin? For an example, a lot of these people are going into investments, they have no idea how they really work. Mm-hmm. It's just that little shiny thing, and they want to go and they're going to pick it up and they're going to run with it. And my story's different than anybody else, but similar to a lot of people watching. I grew up in the Midwest. My family, all from the background of steelworkers, Inland Steel, Bethlehem Steel, blue-collar workers. Nothing wrong with that. Waking up every day, grinding it out, creating valuable labor so that enterprise can go forward, taking their nickels and sticking them aside, few dollars here, few dollars there over every paycheck. When I was growing up, it was, I would not say that we were rich by any means. We grew up, I guess it was a middle income family. The one thing that I always noticed is that we were always doing without, right? You were making do. And having a couple shirts in the closet and a couple pair of pants and whatever, and actually having the kids making fun of you when you went to school because they would see you wearing the same clothes and all that stuff. And I always wanted more, and I knew that I needed to be able to hang around people that were doing more, making more than my family. And so when I got the chance to go out there and to be educated. I sacrificed to go do that. And I was blessed to sit at the feet of some very wealthy people who I have no idea why, but they really liked me, maybe because I had hair back then. But they kind of took me in, and I was a very good listener, and I watched what they did. And one of the things that I noticed that was a common denominator is that wealthy people do things a whole lot different than the average Joe. And things that your everyday person that's probably watching this show, they get told that's illegal, or you can't do that, or that doesn't exist, or that's not available to you, isn't true. And I saw that there was a big difference on the playing field between a wealthy person and an average Joe, was being able to have access to these programs and vehicles and be able to have them so that they can afford them. All of these things that the rich people are doing, anybody else can take advantage of it, but they don't know where to go. And they don't know who to listen to. And I said, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take these programs that have really been exclusive to the ultra wealthy for the last 40 or 50 years, and we're gonna bring them down to the average Joe, and we're gonna make them available, and we're gonna make them affordable, and we're gonna educate you and allow you to educate your other loved ones and family members so that it can actually impact your life. And if you do these things and take advantage of them just the same way that the wealthy people do, you can actually change your legacy. Your legacy is not set in stone. You get to choose your own legacy, and a lot of it's gonna start right here watching this show and this program and taking action and being proactive, right? We talk about the difference
Right.
between the average Joe and the wealthy is not just education, but it's action.
Right. It's interesting you say that one of the biggest frustrations that I see is that people themselves, investors, they're frustrated. They're saying, well, you know, you're bringing up these great ideas. How come I never heard of that? And we're so excited about some of the episodes that we're going to be coming up, and one of them is really about the people that you're getting the information from. And once you watch that episode, I think it's almost becomes like, it becomes clear. It's like, wow, now I understand why I have what I have in my portfolio. And you know, to your point about information, it's almost like, you know, it used to be where there was no information, and whoever came to you, you just had to trust them. And then we went to full circle. Well, now there's just so much information that you don't even know how to sift through it. Yeah. So one of the goals that we do is to coach people and say, you know, you'd have to even know the questions to ask. So that to me is a very, very important tool to have in the planning process. And I like the whole concept of the coaching. You know, when you're helping people on tax strategies or asset protection, a lot of these people, you know, they'll Google an idea, but that doesn't help them implement the planning process. So going forward, I think that the idea here is to say, hey, listen, how do we take these things? It doesn't have to be complicated. And the passion that I think both of you and I have is to say, hey, look, you know what? We're fortunate enough today to be able to take these proven strategies, help you make these smart decisions, and help you achieve the financial independence that you want, because really that's what it's about.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that I can tell you that we run into is that people don't know, if you're just beginning, it's important to make the good, smart decisions. Nobody wants to think that their financial planner or their tax professional that they've been going to for the last decade has been doing them dirty, either because of the lack of knowledge, or they knew better, you know. And what I really like about what it is that I do is we don't pick investments. We don't. It doesn't matter to us if you're buying stocks or bonds or mutual funds or real estate or alternative investments, whatever it is out there. We have two rules, right? Number one, don't lose money, right? Number one rule, don't lose money. Number two, if you are going to risk your money and you are going to put it into an investment, do so in the way that is the most tax advantaged way that you can keep the lion's share of the income that you make. And so, Rich, I really appreciate this. I am super excited about doing this series. It is going to blow people away. When you watch this show, and it parts all these ideas and theories and all this garbage out there that people are selling like it's fact, and it's just a bunch of bull, all puns included. Guys, you will get it for yourself. So make sure that you're following us on all the social medias. Click down there, share us with all of your friends and family, the people that are closest to you. This program right here will impact every single person that you share this with. So we would ask you to go out there, get educated, educate people around you, absorb the knowledge, and we are going to do our very best to bring you the best programs and the latest information so you can make great information and put more money in your pocket and less in Uncle Sam's, and make good, sound financial decisions so that you know exactly what you're getting into and exactly what you're getting out of it. So thank you very much, Rich, for being here today.
With pleasure.
And we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.